Parents in at least one community in Pennsylvania are fed up with Moms for Liberty and are fighting back. Community members in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, have been pushing back against the takeover of a local school board by members of this so-called parents' rights, but really more of an anti-LGBTQ, anti-progressive organization. At least 5 out of the 9 members of the county's Penn Ridge School Board have links to the group, according to a recent report in Salon. Now, parents, of course, and concerned locals have, since this takeover, been organizing using a variety of methods, including a Facebook group called the Ridge Network, which has about 1,400 members. So those members, of course, have been planning on ways to combat Moms for Liberty. Ridge Network members have said that the Moms for Liberty, that the group began first by eliminating diversity, equity, and inclusion policies, or DEI, and then began a censorship campaign to remove pride flags, as well as anti-racist and LGBTQ plus inclusive books from schools. I said, think about this. So you want to remove anti-racist books, books that teach people not to be racist. There's only one reason that you would want to remove books that teach you, hey, being racist is bad. Because you want to present a counter argument to that to say, well, no, being racist is actually kind of a good thing. That's the only reason I can think of. The only reason I can think of. And then, of course, to be bigoted against LGBTQ plus people as well. So now, the group is now pushing for revisions to the district's social studies curriculum. Hoo boy. One Ridge Network parent, Jane Kramer, said that Moms for Liberty uses a specific strategy of throwing a lot of change at people all at once in order to overwhelm them. So that's the old throw crap against the wall and see what sticks strategy, which is effective. While you're busy cleaning up one mess or fighting up against one thing, they're over there creating a whole new mess. Now, that strategy was reportedly suggested by somebody named Jordan Adams, speaker at Moms for Liberty's recent summit in nearby Philadelphia, whose education consultant company Vermilion got a board-approved contract, reportedly rushed under secrecy, to rewrite the school district's social studies curriculum. Wow, talk about not transparent at all. Again, rushed under secrecy. Push it through. But what happened to, getting the parents' approval? Whatever happened to that? I thought you were supposed to be a so-called parents' rights group trying to reflect the community. No. You're rushing things under secrecy for one reason, because you know it's going to be unpopular, that people are not going to like it, of course. Now, Adams apparently has had some practice in doing this. He was previously hired by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in order to ensure that the state's textbooks are as, regressive as possible. Great.
Florida's ground zero for the nursing home. I mean, we're God's waiting room.
Now, Adams has also worked for Hillsdale College, a leading force in promoting conservative Christian reading of American history and the U.S. Constitution in schools, according to an article in Salon. So, basically, I read that as Christian nationalism, because that's what that is. Pushing Christian nationalism in schools, kind of a violation of the First Amendment, I would think. But yes. Now, his changes have not gone over well with parents, as I mentioned. Local school board meeting attendees have railed against Adams' proposed curriculum changes by reading passages from it that apparently minimize the evils of slavery or the genocide of Native people. Yeah. So, minimizing slavery. Once again, why would you want to minimize slavery if not to say, well, might not be such a bad thing? What? And genocide of indigenous people, even worse. Now, the risk contract for Adams' company's proposed social studies curriculum has also enraged local citizens and made them more politically engaged. As a result, they're going to more school board meetings, and hopefully that will, have an impact on future school board elections in order to replace these people. Now, another local parent, Darren Lawston, had also looked into how many books the district had banned after board members complained about a quote-unquote pornography problem in our school libraries involving filth, smut, and X-rated content.
Sexual anarchy.
In the libraries. Now, it turns out that none of that is true. I mean, look, they claim that a book involving like penguins, right, or seahorses is like, that's the pornography that they're talking about. Okay? Ridiculous. Just ridiculous. Not in children's books, all right? Now, Lawson, also found that right-wing activists have been using resources like booklooks.org to suggest which books to ban. They must not be looking into the books very much. I talked about, I think it was last week or something, a recent story where they banned a book because a woman, the woman who wrote it, the author, had the last name Gay. It was about building a doghouse. They banned it because her name is Gay. So this is the amount of research that they're going into these groups are using in order to ban books. I mean, talk about don't say gay, right? That's what this is. Now, Lost Sen and other parents began filing right to know requests to find out more what was going on, but were continuously stonewalled by members. He eventually discovered that many of the books have been perpetually checked out and quietly removed or under a weeding process meant for damaged or underwood books and then sold off by the district. Both methods, in effect, bypassed the district's official book review policy and kept certain titles inaccessible to students, even though they weren't actually officially reviewed or banned. They just got rid of them anyway, bypassing the entire process, making sure that these books are just, you can't get them. You can't get them, which is pretty underhanded to me. Once again, if there was anything really objectionable in those books, then why wouldn't you be open about it? Why would you have to go through this underhanded process to get rid of them? That's because they know the parents there would disagree. Other local parents were also concerned that this is nothing more than a way to threaten the well-being of the LGBTQ plus students, which is true, and also to get the community to distrust their public school system, another thing that they want to do, because ultimately the goal is to try to tear down public schools, to get rid of them, to replace them with religious charter schools. And not only that, but of course there's a political component here. So when parents distrust the school system, they're more receptive to local Republican officials who back these bans to get elected into local office. And so that's that as well. Now Jane Kramer, has begun talking about Moms for Liberty's methods through her TikTok account. You should check that out. And you also have retired teacher Elizabeth Mkhitaryan, who has launched Stop Moms for Liberty, a resources website designed to fight similar tactics nationwide. So I think that's really, really good. I love to see that people fight back. And look, the first thing to do is to really get the word out. Now, when you hear the name Moms for Liberty, it's like, oh, it's a bunch of moms, right? And they care about freedom. No, it's really not, though. That's not what their goal is. Their goal is actually censorship and repression of particular ideas. In this case, LGBTQ plus topics, as well as, of course, gender identity and anti-racism. Again, there's only one reason to be against anti-racism, and that's if you're pro-racism. Let's be very clear. And so it's important to let people know that this is the case, that this is what this group stands for. And the more people that know this, the more that they can fight back. Because most people don't agree with these groups, with this group. And so, people, when they're armed with this knowledge, they can fight back. And more importantly, preventing the takeovers of these school boards in the first place. I think one of the biggest problems in these local, districts, these elections, is that most people didn't pay attention to school boards until these takeovers. Look, these right-wing groups thought that this was an area that was ripe for a takeover, and so they got involved, and may have just actually caused more average, normal people who are against censorship, and who are against bigotry and racism to actually get more involved in their local school districts. And again, that ends up being a good thing, but these takeovers, understand that you want to prevent them because of all the damage that they do when they take over, that it has lasting effects, the things that they're doing. So stopping them before they do that damage is essential, I think, to protecting children and their education. But at the same time, I love seeing people fight back. I love to see the parents fight back. I think parents are the most powerful force in these school board fights, and they should be. And they're making sure that, again, they're armed with not only the information about who these groups really are and what they're about, but also with the tools to make sure that, they can stop these groups and make education that works for everyone, especially the children, is the most important thing. So, big props to these parents and to these groups that are fighting back, and I wish you all the luck and all the support, and I'll give you all the support in the world. Keep fighting.